She turned her husband into her maid, and this happened. I still hear his screams in my dreams. It was late one night when I first heard the cries. The sound was coming from next door, where Mary and John lived. They were the perfect couple, always laughing and joking around. But something changed. One evening, I was taking out the trash when I noticed John. He was bent over, scrubbing the floor. It wasn't just any scrubbing. He was using his hands, and he looked terrified. Mary stood over him, a cold smile on her face. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. John was a proud man, always taking care of Mary. What was going on? The next morning, I decided to check on them. I knocked on their door, and Mary answered, her eyes gleaming with an unsettling brightness. "Hi, Mary. Is everything okay?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. "Everything's perfect," she said, her smile never reaching her eyes. As I was about to leave, John appeared behind her. He looked exhausted, dark circles under his eyes. He wasn't the same man I knew. I caught his eye, and he gave me a pleading look. Something was very wrong. Over the next few days, I kept seeing John doing all sorts of chores around the house, cooking, cleaning, even doing laundry. It was as if he had become Mary's maid. He never spoke a word to me, and every time I saw him, he looked more and more like a shadow of his former self. One night, I was jolted awake by loud banging sounds coming from their house. I rushed outside and saw John on his knees, scrubbing the driveway. His hands were bleeding, and he was crying. Mary stood over him, holding a stick. "Mary, stop!" I shouted, running towards them. She turned to me, her face twisted with anger. "Stay out of this, or you'll regret it," she hissed. I froze, fear gripping me. John looked up at me, his eyes filled with despair. I wanted to help, but I didn't know how. I backed away slowly and went back to my house, my heart pounding. The next day, I decided to talk to a friend, Ode, who knew more about the local folklore and strange occurrences. When I told him what was happening, his face turned pale. "She's using juju," he said. "She's controlling him with dark magic." I couldn't believe it. Magic. In this day and age? But the evidence was right in front of me. Ade told me that there were ways to break the spell, but it would be dangerous. That night, armed with the knowledge Ade gave me, I decided to confront Mary. I sneaked into their house while she was out. John was in the kitchen, washing dishes. He looked up, startled. "John, we need to get you out of here," I whispered. He shook his head. "She'll kill us both." "We have to try," I insisted. Just then, Mary walked in. Her eyes blazed with fury. She raised her hand, and John collapsed to the floor, writhing in pain. I froze, terror gripping me. She turned to me, her expression deadly. "You've meddled in things you don't understand," she spat. I stood my ground, repeating the words Ode had taught me. Mary screamed, clutching her head. The air around us seemed to crackle with energy. Suddenly, John stopped moving. Mary fell to the floor, unconscious. I rushed to John's side. "Are you okay?" I asked, shaking him gently. He opened his eyes and looked at me, a mixture of relief and fear on his face. "It's over," he whispered. Mary was taken away, and John moved out of the neighborhood shortly after. The house stood empty for months, a silent reminder of the horrors that took place there. I never saw John again, but I still hear his screams in my dreams. And every time I pass that house, I remember the night when a loving wife turned into a monster, and a proud man became her prisoner. The moral of the story is that the misuse of power and control, especially in relationships, can lead to destructive and harmful consequences. It also highlights the importance of recognizing and standing up against abuse, even when it is difficult or dangerous. Additionally, it serves as a reminder that sometimes, unseen forces and dark practices can have very real impacts, and it is crucial to seek help and intervene when something seems wrong. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give us a thumbs up and don't forget to leave a comment below. We love hearing your thoughts and theories. And if you want to see more content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Your support helps us keep creating spooky stories just for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.